Every champion failed the Dragon King's trial, until a human stablehand made him laugh. HFY Hub score 9.2 out of 10. I am literally hiding in the break room right now, pretending to read a massive compliance email, but I'm actually just thinking about how perfectly this story hits. The core hook is so simple but brilliant. A completely normal, nobody stableboy manages to win a terrifying galactic Dragon King's ultimate trial just by showing the ancient ruler a little bit of genuine empathy instead of trying to fight him. I was leaning so far over the break room table while listening to the trial scene that I almost dipped my tie into my lukewarm coffee. It's just a perfectly cozy, low-stakes vibe wrapped in epic sci-fi clothing. The emotional payoff here is all about trust and seeing past someone's scary exterior, which honestly reminds me so much of this half-feral calico cat that used to live in my apartment's parking garage. I spent weeks just sitting frozen on the cold concrete, leaving Tuna out, until she finally realized I wasn't going to hurt her. And that same kind of quiet, patient empathy is exactly what Taeyong uses to win over the Dragon King. I absolutely love the subversion of the ultimate warrior trope. Every single badass alien gladiator fails the test because they are too busy flexing, but the guy who just cleans up after the space horses wins because he actually pays attention to people. If you're stuck dealing with aggressive corporate climbing or a boss who thinks yelling is leadership, this story is basically therapy. I highly recommend it if you want an HFY story where humanity's greatest superpower isn't blowing stuff up, but just being incredibly kind and emotionally intelligent. At the end of the day, it's a super heartwarming escape that actually made me smile at my desk. Number 1, Accessibility Barrier, 9 out of 10. I had zero issues getting right into the plot. It doesn't waste time with crazy space jargon, which is a lifesaver when my brain is already fried from spreadsheets. Number 2, Character Cred, 10 out of 10. I totally bought Taeyong as just a humble guy trying to survive. His reaction to suddenly being thrust into a life-or-death trial felt incredibly real and relatable to me. Number 3, Closure Status, 10 out of 10. I loved the ending. Seeing Taeyong actually go out and solve galactic problems using diplomacy instead of violence wrapped up his character arc perfectly. Number 4, Dialogue Drip, 8 out of 10. I thought the conversations between the massive Dragon King and the tiny human were great. The king sounds appropriately epic, but Taeyong just talks like a normal, terrified dude. Number 5, Endgame Payoff, 10 out of 10. I was so hyped when the Dragon King actually started laughing at the hologram. I legitimately had a massive grin on my face in the break room. Number 6, Found Family Factor, 10 out of 10. I am an absolute sucker for the grumpy immortal adopts a sweet mortal trope. The bond that forms between the king and Taeyong is just incredibly wholesome. Number 7, HFY Video Length, 1530 min. I listened to this during my lunch break, and it was the absolute perfect length to give me a solid emotional boost before heading back to the data mines. Number 8, Logic Coagulation, 9 out of 10. I felt like the king's trial made total sense. If you've lived for 10,000 years, of course another guy with a big sword isn't going to impress you anymore. Number 9, Narrative Gut Punch, 8 out of 10. I definitely gasped when Taeyong decided to burn his mother's handkerchief during the ritual. That was a surprisingly heavy sacrifice for such a cozy story. Number 10, Packing Pulse, 9 out of 10. I thought the build-up to the trial was incredibly tense, but once he passed, it smoothly transitioned into a really satisfying, feel-good wrap-up. Number 11, Possible Sequel, yes. I would honestly read a whole series of episodic stories about Taeyong just flying around the galaxy solving problems with kindness and trade deals. Number 12, POV Perspective, 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed following the lowest guy on the totem pole. It makes the scale of the massive Dragon King and the royal court feel so much more impressive. Number 13, The Human Edge, 10 out of 10. I love that humanity's edge here isn't violence or stamina but just profound emotional intelligence. It's a really refreshing take on the HFY genre. Number 14, The Onion Factor Tearjerker Score, 8 out of 10. I had to pretend I was just rubbing my eyes under the harsh fluorescent lights when the king admitted how lonely he was. It was a really touching moment. Number 15, Thematic Resonance, 10 out of 10. I totally vibed with the message that true strength is about understanding people, not just beating them up. I think that's a brilliant theme. Number 16, Trope Remix score 9 out of 10. I see the impossible trial trope all the time in fantasy, but solving it with a heartfelt slideshow presentation was a hilarious and awesome remix. Number 17, Visual Bang Per Buck 9 out of 10. I could perfectly picture the massive black dragon king and the shifting colors of the little Stardancer alien. The visual contrast was really cool. Number 18, Wholesomeness/Cozy rating 10 out of 10. I honestly felt like I was being wrapped in a warm blanket. The idea of a terrifying warlord who secretly sneaks down to feed treats to his pets is just the best. Number 19, World Building Vibe Check 9 out of 10. I thought the space fortress and the menagerie full of weird alien animals felt super fleshed out. I really want to see the glowing crystal oceans of Mira. Number 20, Xenobiology Integration 8 out of 10. I liked the descriptions of the different aliens, especially the Stardancer that just changes colors based on its mood. It fit the cozy vibe perfectly. HFY Hub score 9.2 out of 10. Hope see you at the next HFY Hub video review.